Hello Gundam fans, this is Prime92, and today I'll be looking at the 10144 Real Grade Strike Freedom Gundam from the Gundam Z Destiny series. This is, I have to say, a very, very good looking updated Strike Freedom. It is probably the first Real Grade I've built, which feels like a miniature version of a bigger one, most notably the Perfect Grade. I really feel like it's just a shrunken down Perfect Grade in terms of how it looks. Not nearly as complicated, but it definitely has the look and feel. A really nice gold chrome inner piece for the wings, which is actually also part. These little parts here, the little almost triangular pieces on the master grade, are separate. These are molded in, so you put the armor on, boom, done. Very few seam lines, probably right here, and even the dragoons are molded so that you really don't have any. It's very, very well done. The eyes are the only stickers I use, and very nice head sculpt. It doesn't have a super big sticker sheet, mostly the shield, and I think this part here are the dragoons. So the overall body, not too much. And obviously very back heavy because of the wings. You can kind of lean them forward. I would like to have them pushed back, but you really have to have them kind of as close to the arms as possible to keep the weight forward. And speaking of the backpack, doing this isn't so bad, but when you start to move them in and out, they're rather tight, and what'll happen is it'll completely separate the backpack and everything comes off. So either glue it here, I'd say, or hold it when you start moving it, just so you don't have everything fall apart, because it's pretty much the weight of these. The connection isn't strong enough here. Also, this is probably just me being stupid, but I want to mention it anyways to stop other people from making my mistake. The leg. I've never had this happen before on a real grade, but what happened was I always usually bend the joints before I assemble them to make sure they bend and the joints will move, and they were fine. And then when I put the whole armor together, I bend it, and this joint here snapped. It will stay, but if I bend it I can bend it but not all the way, or this part will come out. And I think what happened is this gold piece here goes on top, and I don't think I had it all the way on. It must have been crooked, and it was locking this piece here because it should come down with the joint, and it wouldn't come down, and it tore this part off. So just make sure I took that off, put it back on, tested it, and then put the armor on, and it was fine. And when I put the other leg together, I tested it, and it was fine. So yeah, just make sure you test it. Don't do what I did. It's fine. It won't. The knees are nice and tight, but yeah, just be careful. Also, the back skirts, they are on a double hinge, so they can come down for the railguns, and they do come off a little too easily if you move them around too much, but it's not too bad. We've also got a cockpit, which is a little, like, floppy, but it does the job. And you also have a little Kira Yamato figure, very small. And yeah, that is about it. This thing looks amazing. I really do love how it looks. There are a few little parts that it does kind of start to come apart here and there, but I think all in all, it is a great rendition of the Strike Freedom. The head goes up and down, forwards and back, rotates. The arms go forward, and they'll rotate, but you have to kind of see, it's a very tight joint, so you have to kind of hold the arm and the shoulder. They'll come out. Armor is on a separate joint, and this is really cool. It actually opens up right here. You kind of have to do it at an angle, like that, but I really like that. I don't know why. I just really like how that looks. And the arms rotate below the shoulder, double jointed elbow. This is something else I really like. how this part separates, but if you look at it, I should look at the other Strike Freedoms I have, but it looks like a part of the Strike Freedom. And it looks like the elbow, so it's a really cool piece they put there. And then you have a ball jointed wrist, and I have the articulate fingers. So they applied just like the other real grades. You have a stomach joint, forwards and back, some side to side, some rotation. Really depends on how you position the side skirts, how they're going to move. Ball jointed front skirts, hinge, railgun side skirts. The back skirts, like I said, are double hinge, so they can come down and out. And the legs, you have that extra hinge, you can bring them down. I'm not going to do it. The legs will go forward and back and out and rotate at the hip and use the knee that's not broken and double jointed knee. Very good bend. Nice armor separation there. You got the ball jointed foot, and the hinge for the armor is at the back. You got the hinge at the foot, and the toes never move. They always have a hinge there, but they always seem to stop. And then the backpack, you can go in and out and rotate, and the wings can move separately, and then each one, the one part can open up. So that's about it for the articulation. It's really good. It's about as good as any other railgrade. It's just that this one has the backpack to contend with, so anything you want to do, you always have to worry about him falling over with the backpack. So you might want to use an action base. That way you can do all the dynamic posing of that the kit can do, and you don't have to worry about him falling over. But you can do it, as you can see. It can be done. It just, you have to make sure those wings are in the right position. But still, the articulation is really good. Now the kit has on it the rail guns, which you can open up like that, and they'll extend at the front just like the Master Grade and the Real Grade, or the Real Grade and the Perfect Grade. And you also got the Beam Saber mounting units, which I don't have on right now. They do peg in, but I don't find they're that secure. They come off a little too easily. And they will rotate on the connector. And they have the peg, which can also be used in the hand. I find they're a little better in the holding hands rather than these, because I usually have problem getting the pegs right in the sweet spot, right above the joint. There's a little spot, but when you get them there, they stay. So, yeah. And you do get two. They're more like 1 to 100 scale beams. And you have both. You can peg them together just like the Freedom and the Justice. So you can have a dual wield. And you have the beam rifles. Now the one I have the trigger finger hand on, which they're really molded well to conform pretty much perfectly to the beam rifle handle. There's no actual peg in the handle. So it's kind of hard to get the open hands to hold it. But these ones are pretty well. They actually, you don't want to move them too far down, because they will if you force them slide off the bottom. But as it is, pretty good. And you can combine them just like in the show. Extend the back, and then you can just take the other one, pull out the barrel. Now they both actually extend at the barrel, because it's the same mold. And then you flip this one to the side, has a little clear piece for the scope. Get the handle out of the way, and slide them together. And now I think it's called a long-range beam rifle. And the best thing about this is because of the nice tight inner frame joints, it'll totally support the weight of this combined rifle without a problem, as you can see. If only it would stand. Yeah, as you can see, no problem, no drooping, no nothing, because these are tight joints. So that's good stuff. And this is something I really, really like. They were thinking with this. Now, you have to put the back skirts down in order to get the rail guns to the back, so you can actually mount the beam rifles. Now, they actually took, I'm pretty sure these are the joints from other real grade side skirts, but you can flip them out and just take the beam rifle and clip it on. And now it's stored. That's a really good idea. And then when you don't want them there, you have to push that joint back and flip the other one out. Now, I do wish the pegs, it's only a little peg connecting the railgun. I wish they were longer because they don't stay. You have to, like, whenever you move it, you have to push the waist back down, so it kind of sandwiches between the waist joint and the stomach. That's a little annoying, but it's not terrible. I just think that's a really good idea with use of the parts. There's your hand. And of course we come to the Dragoons. Now these things, I think, this is the best way they could have incorporated the Dragoons into the Strike Freedom. With giving it a little flash, but nothing detrimental. Well, let's see. The high grade didn't have anything. The master grade had the gimmick where if you move the one, they would open in like a gear gimmick, so they don't open as you move them. That was really a pain in the butt to get right. And then the perfect grade, oh, the perfect grade. Spring-loaded Dragoons, which never stay tucked in. They always pop out forever. These, on the other hand, you can open up these little panels. There's a joint here, and there's a joint here. And then the Dragoons themselves, you can easily pull out, and they're on a little, there's a little peg on each side, a little team on right in here, and you gotta make sure they're pushed all the way in, and they'll hold right in there, and they have a little team catch right here to keep them kind of hanging, so you can have them all the way up like that, or you pull them out a little bit, and they'll kind of rest, but you have to make sure they're sandwiched tightly like that. Now let me do this all on the other ones and we'll get back to it. And with a little bit of effort, you can get a very awesome display piece. This looks amazing. I love it. I love what they did. It's a little hard to do because you have to, these inner pieces that open up are a little tight, I find, so you have to be careful. And when you assemble them, they have to go in a certain order, or you'll risk breaking the parts. But when you do it, it looks great. I really think this is the best way to do a Dragoon gimmick without making it too convoluted and way too complicated. Now we have a beam shield for the Strike Freedom. It will look better with the stickers, but I'm not going to put them on. You just have to unpeg either either red jewel, and just pegs into here. And now you have 3 pegs, which will all peg into the arm. Pretty securely now, because there's 3. So you got a nice beam shield. You do get quite a few hands. You've got the articulate ones, you've got a set of the open hands, which are more for holding the beam rifles. You've got a set of the closed, where are they here? The closed fists, which all the real grades come with, and a set of holding trigger finger hands. So yeah, the accessories on this model I think are great. They do everything they need to do, and they do them well. Well, I think we have to do this comparison first. The old high grade with the real grade. And oh boy, is there a difference. Yeah. Well, it should be different. It's like a 10-year gap. So, yeah. Definitely in a league of its own. And we might as well do the other units that Kira piloted. Here is the Freedom Gundam, which is a little shorter. Just a little shorter than the Strike Freedom, I think. And of course, this is going to get crowded very quickly, but the Strike, or in this case, the Perfect Strike. There's all 3 units together. So that is the real grade Strike Freedom, and I gotta say, I love it. It is a great model. It has great gimmicks. accessories are really good. The articulation's standard for real grades. Some things come off a little too easily. It's kind of the nature of the real grade beast. I do wish that I wish they had a little bit of a stand thing, like the Justice had. You know, a little leg that would, like, a third leg that would help support it. Because that backpack, it's awesome, but it still weighs it down. But still, I love this kit. So that's about it, and I'll see you at the next review.